This is, let's say, in the delivery. Regarding the identity, I have some doubts because the thing about China is that the speed in which society and trends change, it's so high that even Chinese have a hard time catching up at times, but certainly Europeans. My question is how to try to localize the message without bastardizing, if you admit the word, jeopardizing the brand values. Because if you try to satisfy the market today, you might not satisfy the market tomorrow. I know, again, it's a very difficult question, but how do you strike a balance between keeping the brand value and adapting to that?
I think somehow the brand value are the fundamental, right? So basically it's the base. So it's like if you remove the base, let's make an architectural example. If you remove a base, the pillars of a building cannot stand somehow. No matter what you do on top, cannot stand. No matter how beautiful you can make it, will just collapse. So those values that companies are treasure somehow. So let's say, I'll give you an example on a much larger scale. The values of Google is not succeeding in China, apart from the war and so on, because one of those values is actually the freedom of sharing anything that people wants. Okay, so the liberty of being able to share what do you think. Okay, that's in certain country is not allowed. So if you remove that value, the company itself collapses.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't. So basically, it's safer not to jeopardize one value than giving a piece of a country. In this case, of course, is we know. So those are fundamental. They cannot be completely removed or cannot be played with. Now, if a company like, let's say, Lotus has great fundamentals, great brand identity, that cannot be touched somehow. Now, the geolocalization is not a brand identity. The geolocalization is actually the message that's been taking the values and the pillars and then translated properly to another country, another place. So the way of translating that can be done badly, can be done nicely, can be done correctly, or can be done exponentially. So basically you can enhance even more. I'll give you an example. The BMW did a great example of his name in China. That means wild horse. So it's Bauma.
Yes.
So, and that's a great example. I still remember when I was studying university, a master that was talking about semiotics and things.
Yes.
And that to me was a great example of how a brand increase the value and increase the awareness by geolocalizing something. Now, if you think geolocalization is an enemy, like a lot of brands think, because it jeopardizes if there is a risk to jeopardize your assets, your global assets, then you are basically failing the process. If you think instead that the geolocalization can add value and bringing back the geolocalization and bring it back as an exercise overseas, to bring it back in, let's say, in your own headquarters, and then even transform that into something more and communicate that into something more, that will bring you a lot of more values. So you become, let's say, BMW somehow with this exercise of making himself this kind of awareness. It gives solidity and it gives this amazing
bravery
look and feel of a brand itself.
Yeah.
So we don't call it wild horse in Germany.
No.
So
No.
at the same time, they don't disgrace the fact that they call it wild horse in China. So
it is because BMW has been in China for a very long time.
yeah.
It is Chinese name is still very important. Do you reckon?
I do think so. I don't think it's not extremely probably necessary.
Sorry to break your balls. You can pull it.
I don't think it's totally. I don't think it's a must somehow. But if you are, let's say, a global brand, and if you are, let's say, at the level of Coca-Cola,
you have to.
If let's say, you won't give the name, the people will give you a name,
and you want to control what name they give you. Yeah.
The
Yeah, I get it.
the smart thing is like to probably, motivate people to call you with the name that you wanted somehow, rather than them inventing something that might be a cutie one that doesn't fit to you somehow.
Yeah, and this is, let's say, important for big companies, and especially for companies that are building a name in China.
Yeah.
So, lesson number one, I think this is very important.